It's recording.
Thank you very much. Okay, so today's topic is Blackboard analytics. So we're going to take a look at that. And of course, we should have plenty of time also for any questions that you might have. Okay, so there are a number of instances through which you can access analytics and data about your students' work in class. Yeah, I'm sharing this. One of them, okay, is through the Analytics tab right up here on the Ultra Course Navigation menu. And as you can see, okay, you have a few options. One of them is course activity, and it's got two views. Okay, this one, which is more like a chart, and this other one, okay, this one, which is a chart actually. And here basically you have on one axis the overall grade, and on the other one you have the hours in course. And each one of these dots is one of your students. So here we have David with his overall grade up to now, missed due dates, number of hours in the course, days since last access, and any alerts that may have been generated. Now, if you want to see more details, all you need to do is click here, View Details. And now it will show you these two charts. In one of them, you have how many hours this student has spent in your course over time. Well, this is not an actual student, right? So as you can see here, okay, on September 9th, okay. And then here you have him again, okay, on November 11th, and a little one over here. So that is on one axis, but this one here is the one that I find most useful. Because in purple, you have the student, the actual student that you're currently looking at, and you can clearly see how their grades have changed over time. And here in dark gray, you have the average for the class. Okay, so you can tell over time, since August, more or less, that's when this section, this class, this course was created, there have been times during which the student has clearly uh, outperformed the rest of the class, and there have been other times in which that was not the case. And you can click on any of the dots to see a more specific data. Also, you can, of course, download this as an image or as a PDF file. But if you switch to the list view, again, it tells you you have these traffic light sort of a color coding. Okay, the greener, the better. And it also tells you, okay, whether the grade was above or below the average for the rest of the class. Okay, for each day during which activity was recorded. You can access that for both views. So as you can see, it is very easy to see exactly, okay, how the student's grade and performance has evolved over time. Please remember, if you have any questions at any time, feel free to ask. You can use the chat or you can use your microphone if you prefer. All right. So that's what you can access from the Analytics tab. And you have these two views. I like this view better because here you have your students, but then you have the overall grade, the number of missed due dates, number of hours they have spent in the course, and the number of days that have passed since the last time they accessed your course. And as you can see, okay, these icons that look like little flags, that means that an alert has been triggered or generated for that student and that specific factor. All you need to do in order to customize the settings for these automated alerts is click here where it says Alert Settings. And right now you have identify students with alerts, and you have 3 numbers here. If you leave a space blank, then that alert will not be generated. So overall grade below or equal, let's say if 80 is the minimum passing score, let's make it a 79. But of course, it's up to you to choose which number makes the most sense. Number of missed due dates above or equal. I normally like to keep this one kind of low here, like 3 or 4, maybe. And number of days since last access, also above or equal. Also, by default, this will be on, this will be enabled, and it'll send activity stream notifications to students based on low overall grade and the number of days since the last access. Okay, so students will also get activity stream notifications based on these values. You can change from here at any time, and also from here, you can send a message to 1 or more students if you detect a trend or something that catches your attention or something that you find a bit concerning, and therefore you want to send 1 or more students a message about that. So alert settings here in analytics for course activity, but we have a few more analytics available. One of them has to do with question analysis. And you can use this one once students have taken a test in order for you to be able to check whether the questions were designed or calibrated as intended. Of course, this will be post-mortem, and it will meaning that once students have already taken the test and data has been generated. But you can use that to check, for instance, whether a specific question was either above or below the expected level of difficulty. And basically, they are identified if more than 70% of the students or more get it right, then it is classified as easy, okay, or easier than the average. And if 30 or only 30 or less students get it right, then it is classified as difficult. Of course, that could have been intentional, right? But nevertheless, it is a good idea to get. Not to run an analysis of your test questions, just to make sure that they're measuring students' learning as intended. You can generate SCORM reports. However, SCORM packages, which used to be very, very popular tools to share content, interactive content with students, okay, they used to be very, very popular some time ago, but they are not used that often anymore. Well, maybe for self-paced courses, but not for most courses nowadays. However, if you are using SCORM packages, which you can create using tools like Articulate 360, for instance, it's probably the most popular, then this is where you can find those reports. And also you can find course reports. Okay? Report names, you have course goal coverage report and course goal performance report. Can you identify questions? There's a question from Gary here. Can you identify questions where no one got it right? Oh yeah, of course, you can identify those. Now, if you're using the goals tool, which means if you have aligned goals with specific elements within your course, you can generate a report as well. And we have two types. One of them is goal coverage, because you know that you can align goals not just with assessment instruments, but also with content items. So if you want to double check and make sure that uh, you are covering the different goals in an even manner, okay, then you can run, okay, you can align course content items like altered documents and files, etc., to goals and then run a report. And you can also, okay, align goals with specific questions within tests and specific criteria within rubrics. And then that can, based on students' performance, you can also generate a course goal performance report. I don't have a lot of data here, but just to show you what it looks like. Remember, you have those two types of reports, both related to goals. Okay. Okay, there is no data available because this is not an actual course. However, these are the different elements that you can use. Now you select the goal set, target performance level, and the average range. And then, okay, select additional report options like show unavailable students, show unaligned goals as well. Let's check something. Let's check something here. Okay. Again, you select the goal set, the goal types, and any additional report options. And you can select both coverage and performance. All right. Where else? Oh, this one is empty. Where else can you access data about your students? Well, anywhere in your course. Okay, remember, all you need to do is click on the three dots to see, okay, what options are available. If it is a container, like in this one here, you can check students' progress, for instance. And as always, you get a little summary at the top, and then you get individual student data here. So Ringo started this. Okay. And then I can, if I click on the student, it'll take me to information or data about that specific student. So if it is a container, like a learning module, then I can click on it. I can see how many people have completed it, how many have started it, how many have not opened it yet. I can search by student and I can search by status as well, if in case I want to send them a message to remind them that they have not yet started this module, for instance. But then if I click on the student, I am taken to this student's site, basically, and here I can check the student's grades. It even tells me whether the student has reviewed their graded work or not. Okay, so if you give them feedback, okay, here I'm using a rubric and I gave them feedback on their performance. So here I can tell that the student has reviewed the feedback. Okay, otherwise, okay, it would show me the phrase not reviewed, in which case you may want to reach out to the student so that, okay, just to remind them that they should take a look at their grades and the feedback, and just to see what they could possibly improve or work on, etc. But that is a grade. I can also check their progress, okay, and see everything the student has done in the course so far. A green check mark means completed, a half full circle means started, and a blank or empty circle means not open yet. I have a place for internal notes. This is for my eyes only. I also have access to the activity log. And here I can see every single little thing that student has done in my course since the beginning. If I have many items on this list, I can filter by period of time and by type of event. I have course access, assessment started, assessment draft saved, assessment submission, auto submission, and so forth, including link access, as you can see here. And then for assignments and tests, I can also have access to an attempt log. Now, when it was started, when it was submitted. This is an assignment. If it were a test, I would get the details of in which order they answered the questions and how long it took them to answer each question. So you have that level of detail. And then you have the goals. Now, as you can see here, several goals have been aligned with different elements within assessment instruments. Tells you the overall goal status. You have proficient, distinguished, foundational. Okay, those are the ones that I got here. But of course, all of this can be customized by your institution. How many items have been aligned? The status for each one of those, graded or not, attempt date, and the grade so far, which would explain, okay, how well they're doing for each one. Like here, it says proficient, because there are two elements that were aligned. For this one, they got the top score, but for this one, they got only 50% of what was available. Remember, even though you could align goals with tests, I mean, directly with tests, assignments, or other gradable items, it usually gives you a much more accurate picture if you do the alignments with specific questions in a test or with specific criteria in a rubric that you may be using to grade an assignment, a presentation, a homework, assignment, you name it, okay? Or a discussion, a graded discussion, etc. So, okay, you have access to goals. Just one thing, I want to check something here to see if we have enough data for this, because it's just one student, but I want to see if it's enough data. Yes. So select the goal set. Now, in this case, only one is being used. what is a target, okay, performance level, let's say 80%. Okay. Average range, provide a range of the target performance level. For example, for a target performance level 70, type a range, average range of 5 for the range to be 65 to 75. Okay, let's leave it at 5. Show unavailable students, show unaligned goals, and run the report. I only have one student, remember, with actual data there, but this should give you an idea of what that report looks like. Remember, you have goal performance, which is when you have made the alignments with gradable items with assessment instruments, but you also have coverage, which applies when you have made the alignments with course content items. Let's give it a moment. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Code performance, performance target, 80%. Students over or under, okay. The following students have not submitted any material within the course that is related to the criteria. So you even get details of, okay, not just the available data, but also data that may be missing and, okay, who are the students who, okay, have not submitted so far. Now, please remember, okay, that all data may take up to 24 hours to be updated in the system. All right. So from analytics, that's what you can do. From the course content area, remember all you need to do is click on the 3 dots for a container, but also you can do it for a specific element. Like here you have an assignment. If I click on the 3 dots, I can check out the student activity on that assignment. Okay. Gives me first an overview and then an individual student view. Both of which, of course, I can download. Right now, I have only one submission. And here's its student activity. Now let's go to discussions here. I can also check student activity on discussions. And it gives me who has not participated, who my top participants are, and if it's gradable, what the grades are, and so forth. So every time you want to see what additional options there are or what additional data there is, like here's a test, for example, I can run the question activity report or the student activity report or the question analysis as well. Again, okay, I have summary for the whole class and here individual students details. Do you have any questions? Okay, so this is not a very extensive topic. As you can see, you can access through the analytics page, course activity, question analysis, SCORM reports if you're using them, and course reports, which are linked to goals that may have been aligned. You have both coverage and performance. And of course, you have 2 views. This one I find most useful, and if you have a large class, you can use the filter, okay, for students with alerts only, for example. Oh, sure, no problem. SCORM packages are actually content that is usually interactive and usually multimedia. They used to be very, very popular in the past. They are not as popular now. But you must have taken some online course in which you had to navigate the content as if it were like a presentation, like you had different slides or pages, and they contained activities and questions and maybe embedded videos, etc. They're very popular for self-paced courses, for instance, but they have to be created using some sort of a third-party tool, like Articulate 360. Another one is Adobe Captivate, etc. Then you can upload and insert those into your Ultra course, for example. But then again, SCORM is a standard basically that is used for that. And these are content and normally interactive multimedia content that can be uploaded into your course. So I hope that answers the question. Remember, if you have a large class, you can filter and focus on students with alerts only. Yes, they are very popular for fully online courses, especially if they're going to be self-paced, because you could even have let's say, a character leading the students' experience, etc. So for that specific use, they're very, very popular. Remember, you can download everything, you can access the settings and change them at any time. This is when you access from the analytics page. Of course, you can also access from the gradebook. If you go to the students view of the gradebook, then you can click on any student and you can access, okay, all their information, grades, progress, activity goal, and even goals. Okay, so that's yet another way in which you can access. And from the gradebook settings, which you can access by clicking on the little gear icon here, you can also view the course activity and change the student performance alerts, okay, the numbers for alerts. Overall grade, number of missed due dates, and number of days since last access. Send activity stream notifications to students, which is a good thing. And from here, you can view the course activity. So as you can see, there are two ways in which you can access from within the analytics and from within the gradebook options. And then you can click on any of your students and get, okay, all the data that has been generated for that student. In this case, you can see there have been alignments, but they haven't been graded yet. All you need to do is click on the student's name and you will be taken to this site where you get pretty much everything and anything, okay, about this student. And you can also click on the three dots next to any element, even documents, and check student progress if it's just content, or if it requires student activity like an assignment or a discussion, etc. Then, okay, you can see the details of student activity. And it always shows you an overview of a whole class and then the details of individual students. So, as I was saying, this is not a very extensive topic, but we have plenty of time to answer any questions that you may have about the gradebook or any other thing ultra. So if you have any questions about ultra, anything ultra, it's a good time to ask. Okay. Now, please remember that when you create an element, okay, let's say, okay, some content here. Let's make the sample document. And let's add a little text here. Now that's some dummy text only. Let's give me a moment. Some dummy text. Let's add a picture. I'll use that one just to save some time. And we'll move this here. Remember, it's very easy to resize elements and move them around in Ultra. Let me switch back to I'll answer your question in a moment, Harry. Okay, so remember, when you want to make the alignments with a course content item, you want to click on settings, which is through this little gear icon. And this is where you align with goals and standards. Okay, let's align with this too. That would go to feed the coverage report. Okay, it just means that in this document, you're covering those goals. Remember, in the other report, it's performance. So that one is for gradable items. And even though, let's save this. Even though let's say if you have a test or an assignment or anything that's gradable, you could go and do the alignments, okay, directly. So I can select the goals and align those goals to the test itself. I would only do this if absolutely every single question in this test were related to that specific goal. Otherwise, it may not be a very accurate picture. So normally, instead of aligning, okay, to the whole instrument, what I would do is align to specific questions if it is a test or rubric criteria if it is a gradable, an assignment or a piece of homework or graded discussion, etc. Okay, regarding that question, in Blackboard Classic, there was a contact object. Is there an equivalent in Ultra? What do you mean? To contact the instructor or one of the classmates? Gary?
Yes, Yes, there was an instructor contact information. So there was an object where I could put that in there. This is how you contact the instructor.
Ah, okay. Well, actually, normally
So
what I would use.
basically what I did is I put my information into a document
Uh-huh.
and put that in the course information module. Uh,
Exactly.
but it was the picture is really big, and I was just wondering if there was a formal contact document.
There isn't. However, okay, it is very easy to resize the picture. Let's use okay, I don't have your picture, of course, but let's say instructor. Okay, that's a ski instructor. Something more academic. Okay, maybe teacher. Okay, so let's say this is the instructor. Now remember, okay, you can change the aspect ratio of the image, portrait, and then once it is here, all you need to do is use these items that appear on either side, drag and drop, and now you can resize it. And now to add your contact information, what I would do is add content here, put my content, imagine this is my contact information, make it a bit, no, something like this might help, Gary. So we don't have a specific object for that, but the idea is for it to use Ultra documents for all course content, including content that you might provide at the very beginning, like how to contact your instructor or about the course or how will you be evaluated, etc. Or additional resources.
That was very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad you found it helpful. But remember, I mean, you are in full control of size or when it comes to. You could even use the AI design assistant, okay, to help you design the image. So that's also a possibility. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Questions about anything, Ultra, please? Or maybe Tara, is there something that many people have been asking about that perhaps they should review? And don't forget, of course, to give a document the right kind of title here. Also, okay, you can copy from your original course. Don't forget, just go to copy content, select the course from which you want to copy. In this case, it's an original. And here I have a module called Get Started Here with all that information, resources. Now, if it comes across as a folder, It's no problem. We can always change it into a learning module, provided that it's directly on the course content page. Now here, click on this. You can see it's a folder. So 3 dots, change to learning module. And then I can give it an image. Click on the 3 dots and edit. For some reason, I kind of like this one. But of course, you can use any image that you want. And as you can see, well, all of that gets started here, contact information, course description, course content, and all of those elements, okay, can be copied directly uh, from Learn Original. So you do want to compare, okay, afterwards, after copying content, just to make sure that everything made it through. But most of the time, all of it is going to be there. Any other questions that you might have? Well, Tara, it's not a very extensive topic, as I said at the beginning,
Yeah.
but
So,
we can use the additional time to, I don't know, to have a little Q&A session at the very end or something like that after the last training.
um, yeah, I mean, I know there's not many people here
Mhm.
today. But
Well,
yeah, I
actually,
mean,
we got quite a few. I mean, this time of a semester, many people are not.
yeah.
Like
But
they're
I
all
mean,
over with the midterm exams.
but yeah, I mean, if Gary or Rob they don't have any questions or anything, I mean, we can end it here, or yeah, they can ask questions about anything they want about Ultra if they want
Yeah.
to. Um, do you guys have any questions else for Fausto, or we can end it here? Okay.
All right then.
Okay, so it seems that we're good. And yeah, okay, thank you.